Hi everyone, my name is Alice and today I thought we should do a really fun, cute little tier list of all crochet items that I use personally. This is just for fun. I've probably forgotten quite a lot of things, but these are just the bits and bobs that I sometimes use or haven't really used at all, and are kind of like a hit, I guess, on like social media. I don't know, like a trend. But yeah, so I thought for the first video we're going to be doing a really cute, fun video to get used to making YouTube videos, I guess. So as you can tell, this is my first video, and I'm not a natural whatsoever. So if anything needs changing or the type of videos I'm making aren't really that fun or whatever, then please let me know. But I am hoping to do some crochet tutorials, although I need to pluck up the courage to actually make them. I've recorded one, but I just don't like doing voiceovers. So let's get started. So the first thing I have in my list on my tier maker is stitch markers. Now, I absolutely love stitch markers. They are, in my opinion, the thing I need the most, especially when making toys. Don't ask me to how you say the actual word for crochet toys, yeah, I can't do it. But yes, especially when working in a magic circle and counting my rows, a stitch marker for me is an absolute essential, but I don't use it in like normal projects, like if I'm making a jumper or anything like that, like a granny square. I don't need them, but in my opinion you can't go wrong with them. They're so useful, so helpful. You keep track of your rows where you need to increase, decrease maybe, and just to keep track, and it's very, very useful. I can't imagine my life without them. I did have a time without them, and let's just say crocheting was a little bit more difficult. So for me, I think they go on absolute essential. So top of the list, there we go. The next on the list at the bottom are safety eyes. Now, tying into making crochet toys, I have made quite a few of them, and I'm making quite a few Halloween themed things now, and I've written my own pattern for a little ghost toy that I've made, although I don't know whether to show it or not. But if you'd like to see that, then please let me know. But safety eyes, see, you only need them really if you're making toys. So they are essential to making toys, but not in every single project. So in my opinion, I think they go into need use them in most projects a fave. They're not really a fave. I do find them a bit annoying, especially how they're stored. But yeah, they go on the second tier down. Okay, the next one is yarn bowls. See, this photo here, that's my exact one. I got it for Christmas last year from my sister. And yes, at first I thought, yes, I love this. It's so handy, especially if you've got a small cake, a yarn cake. I don't have them in a proper like ball that you get in a shop, like the normal way you normally buy yarn. It doesn't really work in my opinion, at least for the one that I have. But when I use my little cotton balls, I've already winded into cakes. So helpful. Although for my specific one, it doesn't have a lid, so that is a downside. Like when I use it, it doesn't really stay in the bowl. If I crochet a bit too fast, it just falls out and it's just a whole mess. So I don't know, like if you had one with a lid, I guess, yeah, that's great. But you don't need to purchase a bowl. You can literally make it out of anything. You could get like a tub with a lid, chuck your yarn in it, have it come through the handle or drill a little hole or something, and then boom, you've got a yarn bowl. So you don't need to spend a lot of money in order to use one. So for my specific one that I have and my experience, I think it's middle tier, not a handy item to have. So there we go. The next ones are T-pins. That's what you use when you steam block or even wet block your crochet pieces. So this can be acrylic yarn or cotton. I've only recently bought some, and I've only used them a few times for some cushions that I've been making with granny squares. So they are quite flimsy, in my opinion, but they do really help pin down your work. So if you were to do it really, really tight, if you were to steam it, it hopefully, and it would, hold its shape really well from my experience anyway. But I don't think they are handy, I guess, but you don't need them because you can use any other pins. Yeah, they might rust, but you could use anything else as long as you can pin it to something like cardboard or a foam mat. You don't have to have T-pins. Like, I was using sewing pins for a long time before I spent the money on T-pins. And let's just say, the ones that I bought aren't really that cheap. And I only use them when I need to. But, yeah, so I think middle tier, a handy item to have. Okay, the next thing are stitch counters. Now, I've never actually used these before, so these would go in no opinion. But I've seen a lot of things about them, and I really don't understand how they work. But yeah, I guess I can't really say anything about them, so they're gonna go in don't use them, no opinion. There we go. In the next photo that we have are yarn threaders. I forgot what it was then. Yarn threaders. So I absolutely love these. I've only figured out what they were like at the start of this year. So they're so handy, especially if you're weaving in your ends and you're using such a thin yarn and you can't put it through the eye of your needle. It's such a good thing to have, like sewing as well. Like if you're sewing a lining for a crochet bag or knitting bag maybe, they are so helpful for getting it through the eye of the needle. So helpful. And you could be a bit lazy and just use them if you can't be asked to put it through it anyway. So I think, for me, especially for weaving in my ends, these are absolutely essential in my opinion. I just love them so much. I use them every time I need to weave in my ends or crochet a lining or anything to do with sewing. So, in my opinion, I think they're great. Okay, the next thing that we have are these just standard metal crochet hooks. Okay, so I've only had mine for about a year now, and I love them. I used to only use the ones that are in the next photo along with the soft grips one. I've had them ones for about 2 years, and I was using them all last year, and I did love them. I do love them, but I bought this other set because it came with some other wool, so I was like, yeah, I might as well get some more hooks. And since then, I've just been using them non-stop. For me now, they're my go-to. I don't really use my soft grip ones. The photo of the soft grip ones next to these metal ones are not the ones that I actually have. Mine are from Hobbycraft, but I've just been on their website and it seems like they don't sell them anymore. So they're the next best thing I could find. But yeah, these metal hooks, I love. But I could go without them because I do have other hooks. But in my opinion, they're normally really cheap. So if you do want to get into crochet, they're a good item to have. So in my opinion, they're absolute essential. Okay, next one, like I was talking about, are the soft grip crochet hooks. And yeah, I did love them. I used them all the time for my, I guess my second year of crocheting, or my first maybe. But yeah, they're really good. They're really handy to have. They have such a nice grip to them. I just don't know. I just found the difference between the metal hooks and the soft grip ones are the height of the hooks. I feel like the metal hooks are a lot longer. Well, the ones that I have anyway. And I don't know, they just feel a lot more softer. Because with the soft grip ones, you have like a barrier of how far your yarn can go before it hits the grip, the handle. So, in my opinion, I do like them a lot. So I'll put them in the second tier down, I think. Okay, the next thing that we have is a blocking board. I've got mine again last Christmas. My sister bought it for me, as well as my yarn bowl, I should say. And yeah, I've only used it a few times. I've got a smaller board, so it's not massive to do like jumpers or whatever. But for granny squares, it's great. yeah, it's really handy, but I wouldn't say you don't have to spend the money on one. You could easily DIY it and make your own. You could literally get a bit of cardboard. That's what I do for my bigger projects. I'm not going to fork out on some foam balls right now. I can't really afford it. So, yeah, if you want to buy one for the smaller projects, because they're not that big really, you could probably get bigger ones. But for like granny squares, they're great. But I wouldn't really say you need to get it. This is actually quite a difficult one. I wouldn't say it's a waste of money. I'm trying to think, as you can tell. I think not entirely necessary, but a handy item to have. You don't need to have it, but it's a good thing to have if you like to do granny squares and granny square blankets or anything to do with granny squares in general, or that kind of size of item. Anyway, okay, the next thing that we have is an iron or a steamer, but I don't have a steamer. I use my steam option on my iron to steam my acrylic crochet projects. So I love mine a lot. It's really, really good. It helps block my projects really, really well, so you don't need to buy a steamer if you've got a steam option on your iron. So it really depends on what you want to buy. If I was to say, oh, if you had a steamer as well as an iron, I'd just use the steamer obviously because it'll probably work a lot better. But if you do have an iron already, then you just use that if you got the steam option. But yeah, it's not a waste of money at all. It's really handy because when you steam acrylic projects, it really softens the fibres and it really, really helps it sit flat really nice. It gives it a nice drape. Although with a steamer, yes, it would be a lot more drapey, I guess. But yeah, I do think it's really handy. So I'm going to say it's a fave because every single crochet project that I do with acrylic, I need to use. So yeah. And also, with the blocking board, if you want to wet block your cotton crochet items, it's also a great thing to use as well because obviously wet blocking you can only do with cotton and natural fibres. Okay, for the last thing that we have are just the regular normal needles, and everyone probably does have them. You have them for sewing up your holy trousers, literally anything. But yes, so they're really, really handy, of course, for weaving in your ends. Of course, if you crochet over your ends, which I sometimes do, I kind of go in between. Depends on how long of a tail I leave. But yeah, they're great for weaving in your ends. And most households have them, so if you don't really want to buy a new set, just ask your parents or ask anyone if they've got a needle, and you can use that for literally every single project, as long as you don't lose it. So I think it's absolutely essential. You kind of need it, unless you do crochet over your ends, which is, it just depends on what you prefer really. But it's a good thing to have, especially if you don't have a sewing machine and you do want to crochet a lining for a bag or a top or trousers or literally any project. So yeah, this is my tier list. This is my tier maker of all the items that I could think of. But yeah, I couldn't really think of anything else that I use personally. But I don't think any of them was a waste of money. Maybe a yarn bowl, but in a way, some projects are good with them if you've got smaller cakes. It depends on what bowl you have, really. But yeah, this is my end product, I should say. And yeah, if you agree with me or disagree, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, so I've just looked behind me at my desk and I've just seen my yarn winder. How silly of me to forget my yarn winder. So I've just added it to the list, to the photos below, and it won't be on the downloadable version of this tier list, but I could probably make another one so it is. But I just can't believe I've forgotten it, really. It's like one of my most favourite things ever. I was so looking forward to it at Christmas because I asked for it for last Christmas, and yes, my sister bought it for me. My sister bought me a lot of things. She also crochets. I taught her how to crochet like 2 years ago, I think, and she crochets now. So hopefully I'm a good teacher. But yeah, she bought me this. The specific one that's in this photo, I had that one of the cheapest ones from Amazon. You can get the really expensive ones, like hundreds of pounds, I think they are, like with the whole winder thing. You can get really expensive ones, but I've got this good little handy little one. It's really cute, love it, and it just makes storing your yarn so much more easier. When it's in proper winded cakes, you can store more things in like a tub. So I store my yarn in, I've got like 5 tubs, so I store all my yarn in those tubs. But you don't have to yarn, you don't have to wind them straight away because it loses its like strength really. But it's a good way to store all your yarn. If you've got like little scraps, if you've got like half a ball of yarn left, you could get one there. Like this one I think is about 12 quid, so it's not too expensive, and it'll probably last how long I need it. It's probably really fixable, so if it does break, it'll be alright. But yeah, I just can't believe I've forgotten it really. I was so looking forward to it for Christmas because my sister kept dropping hints that she got me it. So yeah, I think this is absolutely essential. Actually, maybe not. I don't know, because you don't always need to wind your cakes. If you want to put them in the yarn bowl, I would say yeah, but I don't know. I do use it. Like if I don't like using the already store-bought yarn when making a new project. It just flies everywhere. So I think it goes into absolute essential. I just can't believe I've forgotten it. Really, how many times have I said that? But yeah, I do find it's so helpful. It's crazy though because I've been crocheting for about nearly 4 years, and last Christmas I've got most of these items really. The yarn winder, the blocking board, the yarn bowl, like those things I only got a few months ago at Christmas. So you don't really need all these items that when you're first starting out. If you're a starter, crocheter, beginner, you don't really need these items. But you can just get some hooks, obviously a pair of scissors. I haven't added scissors because that's a bit of a obvious one that you need them. But just get some yarn, some cheap yarn somewhere. Get a hook, maybe just one size. You can get it from like Hobbycraft or any craft place. You could probably just get one hook size, and yeah, you're good to go. Just try it out, watch some tutorials, see how you go, and then you can eventually buy all these other things if you really like it and want to start making quite a lot of things. So yeah, this is my tier list. Hopefully I remembered everything. If not, just let me know. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, hopefully see you in the next one. I do want to make another tier maker video if this one does well. I do want to make like other bits and bobs, crochet stitches maybe, US and UK terms, and whatever really. I've got so many ideas for this YouTube channel, and my mum, who does the crafting side of things with cards, whatever that you see on our shorts and our TikTok and on our website shop. Check the shop. She makes such beautiful cards, and I might ask her for her opinions and maybe make one to do with card making as well if you'd like to see that. But it'll probably be me voicing over because she doesn't really want to be on YouTube really. So if you'd like to see that as well, please let me know in the comments below. Please consider subscribing. I am hoping to make some crochet tutorials of some patterns that I've been writing recently, but I just need to get the confidence to actually post them and do the voiceovers because I really hate the sound of my voice. I've got a whole list of what I want to do, so if you do like it, please show me that you do like it by leaving a like. Hopefully subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And yeah, hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!